What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Amalgam Show, Pokémon Edition. I'm one of your hosts, Keena Johnson, alongside Nathaniel.
I'm wearing the same clothes. We are doing this definitely on a different day and not just after the last podcast.
Nathaniel.
Sylveon is my favourite Pokemon, and you can't change my mind.
And Keena Johnston.
What? Where am I? What? Say
What
it again.
did you say?
It's like looking into a mirror.
That's crazy.
Oh god.
Nothing alike.
What's the Amalgam Show?
We've segregated
Pokémon
the
Edition?
table, I just realised.
Yeah, you stay there.
What's the Pokemon podcast about?
Yeah, Nathaniel.
It's about Digimon.
Oh,
Fuck.
Yeah, Digimon. Let's talk about it. War Greymon. Garurumon. Let's get into
Pre-waifu.
it. Let's get into Magnadramon. Yes or no?
So, what do we all think? We'll start how the direct started, which was Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
I hate it.
You don't like the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl?
I
Specifically that.
Yeah, the name sucks.
I think Shining Pearl.
The name's fine. You'll get used to it, just like we did Alpha.
It's terrible.
Cool. Alpha and Omega, like that's cool.
That
Yeah.
was gangster.
Look, I don't know what everyone expected. It's Diamond and Pearl. Like, what are they going to do?
I don't know, maybe take the story and then use the graphics of the game that we already have, like they did with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Instead they made chibi versions.
I meant the name.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I was lying when I said I cared about the name because I couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
The name is the name. We'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Like almost every Pokemon game, people shit on the name when it first gets revealed.
Yeah.
Like how many times do black and white running out of colors?
Yeah, or
Sun and moon, that's not a color. Like just
sword,
stupid shit like
shield, and
that.
gun.
Yeah, like the names. Fucking who cares what the names are?
Me too.
Can't play gun.
I think Pokemon Company was in a real tight bind because I don't think they could have won no matter what they did with the Diamond and Pearl remakes. I think if they had done it with the Sword and Shield engine and done a Sword and Shield similar looking thing, people would have been pissed because they would have been like, it doesn't look as good because people don't like the way Sword and Shield looks.
Yep.
So you would have got that base angry.
Who's got issues with Sword and Shield?
Everyone, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Half
I'll give you
the
a hint.
internet.
One of them is a part of the podcast but isn't here today.
Yeah. Like, they fucking hate the way it looks because they're like, it's a AAA game and it looks like it came out of a 64. I'm like, it's Pokemon. It doesn't... Anyway.
Yeah.
They would have pissed that base off because it would have looked like Sword and Shield and they don't like the way Sword and Shield looks. What they're doing is trying to do something subverting that expectation. Here's a one-to-one remake with a different art style. It's not I think it's neither here nor there.
I like the art style because, to me, I like it because it's so similar to Link's Awakening. I do like that art style.
I think it's
I saw a meme last night. What would you prefer? The Pokemon game that looks like a Zelda game or the Pokemon game that looks like a Zelda game?
So, here's the thing with Diamond and Pearl. The thing that actually bugs me about it, because I'm actually not super hyped for it, I'm fine with it. The thing that bugs me about it is that I just started playing Pokemon Diamond.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, I should probably just stop that playthrough because I'm literally about to play the same thing.
Yeah.
I had a thought in my head that they might do an Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire and give it a little bit of a tweak and a change so it's not playing the same game. But it looks like it is the same game.
That's what I'm worried about.
I am very excited, but the reason why I'm excited is only because I never played it. I never played Diamond and Pearl.
They're good. They're actually really good.
And it's not because I didn't like Pokemon, and it's not because it's just because I didn't have a DS when the game came out.
And then there's the other part of it that, in the same vein of like they can't win, the Pokemon fan base has been divided for years into two factions, which is this isn't changing enough and therefore I don't like it, versus this is changing too much and therefore I don't like it.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter what they were doing with Diamond and Pearl, because that's one of the Diamond and Pearl, one of the like heralded, people love the Diamond, and Gen 4 is one of the favorite gens of the Pokemon community. So they were walking a tightrope on this one. And I think they managed to get to the other side by having this other game.
So that's the thing that if it was just Diamond and Pearl that was coming out, I'd fucking be pissed. I'd be so fucking pissed.
I just want to ask, like, how do we know it's a 1-to-1 remake? Like, don't they usually?
They literally said in the direct that this is a faithful recreation. Those are the words they used.
But
which
they
generally
say that for all of them?
No. The Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire said that this was like a retelling of this story in the Hoenn region.
It's based in the future as well. They like explain that there used to be these other characters. Didn't they rename the character that you played as well? They changed his name?
No. It's yes, they did. But from Brandon to Lucas, I think, or something like that.
Similar to what they did with Let's Go. Like this is like the next.
There was always an understanding that because of Mega Evolution existing, it couldn't actually be the same time frame. So there are still probably going to be changes. There have been a couple of things that have come out even in like the days since the announcement that has indicated that Mega Evolution will be in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yeah.
So it means there are going to have to be some concessions made for the story. There was also a dude who went through, obviously, every time there's a Pokemon thing, someone goes through frame by frame because they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But someone looked at one of the shots from a certain town and compared it to the same shot, like the same area in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, and have realised that there was an NPC in that game that isn't in Diamond and Pearl. The NPC they're saying there is only in Platinum, so it looks like they are taking elements of Platinum and putting them in, especially because Porygon Z was shown in that trailer, and it was using a move that it doesn't know in Diamond and... Actually, no, Porygon Z wasn't in Diamond and Pearl. Porygon Z was added into the Platinum Pokedex. So there are things that are like, okay, it's going to be a faithful recreation of Diamond and Pearl, but they're going to do the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire thing of like taking some of the Emerald stuff and throwing it in or tacking it on the end or whatever it might be.
I would be happy if it was similar to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because that was a really good remake.
I think it is. I think it's just that, like I said, because we went to Sword and Shield, and this is the thing, I think the people who were bitching about the way Sword and Shield looks need to fucking bite their tongue and hold back now.
Yeah.
Because the way that Pokemon Legends Arceus looks tells me that game's been in development since Sword and Shield's been in development. Those things have been going simultaneously. So every time someone was like, those trees look fucking shit, Game Freak was having to sit there and go, we know. Yeah. We know it doesn't look as good as it could, but we can't say anything because we've got this other thing in development that needs to be a secret. Like that's like the whole last year and a half of the Pokemon fan base tearing itself apart over Sword and Shield has been completely for naught because Legends Arceus.
They got the Pokedex back, which is what they wanted.
Well, no.
Except for 20 Pokemon.
No. But that's the other thing is that like I've seen people go bonkers nuts over these remakes. This is Legends Arceus is the thing that everyone's focusing on.
That's
that's
the redemption.
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are neither here nor there. And at the end of the day, because they are a remake of a game from way back then, they were never going to have the full Pokedex in that game.
Yeah.
Because the Gen 4 Pokedex is the Gen 4 Pokedex. That's how you work it.
Wait.
And this Arceus game, I hate to break it to you motherfuckers, it's not going to have the full Pokedex in it.
No,
it's just not.
It's old Sinnoh.
Yeah.
It's Sinnoh before the Pokemon League, before anything.
They showed Rowlet,
Cyndaquil and
Oshawott.
Yeah.
And then Shinx.
And
couples of Gardevoir.
But the fact that they showed Pokemon from a later generation shows that
generations, Cyndaquil's too.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like Rowlet and Oshawott
are from 5 and 7.
Yeah.
So they're going to include other regions.
Yeah. So what I got from
I'd be surprised if they had a Pokedex.
So what? No,
it'd probably be like a fucking notepad. Or something.
The point of the game is that you are making the first Pokedex for the
same region. Is that what it's about?
So what I'm thinking is going to happen here is that you are going to have... You can pick one of these 3 starters, and the reason you have those 3 starters is because there is no starting Pokemon in the Sinnoh region. We haven't made the Sinnoh region yet. So part of your job...
They chose a good region to do this.
Yeah, part of your job is you're going to go out and you're going to find Piplups, and you're going to find Chimchars, and you're going to find Turtwigs. And maybe towards the end of the game you go, actually, these 3 Pokemon are probably going to be good for starters. So then we start breeding them for starter Pokemon, or whatever it might be.
I Yeah, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if like this has like a building mechanic or something. Like you go to a new place, decide this is a cool place to settle, and you like flag it, and then like slowly
start building a town.
Like the resources go there. And,
Maybe.
Like, is this if this has like a resource management part of this? Like this will be part of like.
But at the end,
I just don't want it to be a collection game. That's all. I know that Pokemon is all about collecting.
There's battling and there's collecting.
Yeah, but
well, see, the thing is, I don't know. I don't think you're. I think we're going to be a little bit limited on the trainer battle side.
Yeah.
Because there's not many people, and they've got those old school Pokeballs like Pokemon Trainer. The idea, I think it even says it in the press release that the idea of being a Pokemon Trainer is new in the time that this is set.
Yeah.
So there aren't going to be other people with teams of 6 to battle. In fact, the other releases that they've had on the Japanese website show that the game is entirely single player. There's no online connectivity in the game whatsoever.
I'm totally fine with that.
Interesting.
So it means that trading so you can finish the Pokédex.
Correct. Whatever Pokédex is going to be in there. And this is what I was saying. Like, the people who've been bitching and moaning that, like, they cut the Pokédex and the game still looks like shit. Like, again, the game looks great. There's not going to be all 800 Pokemons in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, that's just it. You can't have it.
I'm totally happy.
I'm down for this game.
And
I want it.
It's gotten to the point now where if I have adult money, if a Pokemon game comes out, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Because I like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Are they coming out at the same time?
No. So Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl
will be the advertiser.
Will be end of this year. They said holiday.
They said late 2021, which probably means November 2021, like the last lot of games.
The last since
at least Ultra.
And we don't
since Sun and Moon, they've been releasing in November.
Yeah.
Legends Arceus is slated for early 2022.
Okay.
So that normally means first quarter.
Do you think that could get delayed?
No. The Pokemon Company doesn't delay. Like there are people saying like, oh, I hope they delay it. But like there will be. The thing that people really, really, really just missed the mark on last time, like going out with Sword and Shield, was how big a machine the Pokemon Company is, and how unbelievably difficult it is to make a titanic company like that change direction. The reason that this is putting Sword and Shield into context is because, like I said, I guarantee this has been in development since the beginning of Sword and Shield. It's why the Sword and Shield probably had a wild area in it, because they were like, well, we're tinkering with this idea of an open world Pokemon game. Let's throw a piece of that into here. Let's see if we can get it running, and let's see what we can do in terms of like, what do we need to do. And they threw in basically their beta into their main series Pokemon game.
And then they refined it in the DLC where both those islands were just
open. Yeah, were just open wild areas.
The specific part that I guess caught me off. Obviously, it's set beforehand, and you know it's that prequel vibe that we've not really thought about. Like, I think the first time we saw a prequel vibe was in one of the Pokemon movies with Lucario, and the only way to catch a Pokemon was to store them in a crystal.
Yes.
That was the idea behind it.
And the only other one before that would have been the Celebi movie where Young Oak.
Young Oak,
you had like a timer, and I kind of like that. Idea, but pretty much it.
But the thing that really, and it's probably just a really basic mechanic that no one's going to care about, the scene in the trailer where as a trainer you're just walking around, you're doing your own thing, they roll into the grass. Why are they adding a rolling mechanic?
I think that there's going to be puzzle solving and things like that in this game, and I hope there is, because that's what I love the most.
I also think there's going to be instances where the conceit that they've said so far about the game is that you are the person to build the first Sinnoh Pokédex. So I think the conceit here is that, you know, when you read the Pokédex and there's those weird entries of like, this thing can run at 40 miles an hour or whatever. That's you. Yeah. You're going in there and doing that. So when a Pokemon is overly aggressive, you have to get the fuck out of the way. Yeah. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know if this Pokemon is aggressive or not. You've never seen it before.
So maybe there's a way that, like, I don't know, maybe the Pokemon will attack you unless
the Pokemon will act as they do, as states in the Pokédex originally.
Yeah. It'll act like animals.
I hope that Primate is in it.
Well, it looked like the Riolu that was in there. It didn't look like it was being told what to do. It looked like it was just fighting the
So there was
in the direct there was extra content.
There's
So
extras.
they were rating it, and
Yeah.
it got to the point where they showed because I was asking for the trailer, like, what is the battle system, and then they showed the trailer for full command, like full.
So there is command.
Yeah,
Is it still turn-based?
Yes, it appeared basically what they did was during the reveal trailer they showed gameplay with no UI. They've removed the UI for the trailer.
Okay.
But there have been a couple of screenshots put in a magazine in Japan as well that show some UI elements. So basically, yeah, when you're playing the game, there's going to be more stuff on the screen for you to see and interact with, including the.
Otherwise, they somehow Hawkeye with that fucking Pokeball. So I don't know how they got
No,
that.
I believe that there'll be a reticle and stuff like that. Yeah.
You hold down, I was going to say you hold down L2 and then like shoot with the R2, but it's Nintendo and it's Game Freak, so who knows? That's
No. You'll pull back with the Joy-Con and then you'll throw it and break your TV.
Smack the Switch in half.
Yeah.
The thing I'm like, this is an awesome concept. Like it is just it's the open world Pokemon game everyone's always wanted.
Yeah.
I just want to know whether it's actually going to utilize it, or if it's just an open world.
I think the thing is that they will never give you exactly what you want, because as soon as they give you exactly what you want in Pokemon, they start to lose. In this sense,
It's a compromise.
it is an open world to an extent, but people, when they were thinking open world, I know I wasn't thinking turn-based. Would anybody else be thinking turn-based?
No.
I don't know.
I would have thought maybe like you go into like a battle sequence, and instead of there being like a loading in or like anything like that, it would just be you would throw out your first Pokemon, and then your controls would shift and the camera would shift to that Pokemon, and you'd run around and fight like Pokemon Tournament. That's what I would imagine.
Yeah. But instead what they've done is they've basically taken both sides of that, because apparently there's no battle screen transition either. It seamlessly just starts into the turn-based, like the camera just locks on, like you said, changes, and then the battle stuff appears. Boom, you're in battle.
Seems to be like
forever. Like Final Fantasy 13 did that.
Yeah.
it's a terrible comparison.
No. 13 has a transition.
It's a terrible comparison, but Pixelmon.
Yeah.
It's literally the same. You throw your Pokeball at a Pokemon, and then the battle screen just pops up.
So here's the thing as well. The wording so far has kind of indicated that, or at least from the trailer, it looks like the low-level Pokemon, sure, you can just throw a Pokeball at them and you're good to go. But the higher level stuff, you're going to need to battle before you do so. So there's still that mechanic in there. The question I have is, what is filling the Pokedex is always the goal in Pokemon. That's always been there. What is the end goal of this particular story?
Well, that's the thing. So if there's not many, well, obviously Arceus, right?
Yeah.
Well, Arceus.
The game is called Pokemon Legends Arceus.
No.
But
Regigigas.
the thing that's getting me, if there's not going to be many trainers, or if there's not going to be any gyms or anything, how do you go about evolving your Pokemon? Are you just going to grind off of wild Pokemon?
I'm assuming. I'm assuming they've thought of that, and therefore
it's going to be their own version of Korok seeds.
Yeah. I'm assuming
they'll
be adjusting the level and mechanics for that. And there's interesting things as well about this. Like, you think the Sinnoh Pokedex is a really interesting one for them to have picked for this.
Yeah.
I think it's really smart because, first thing is really dumb because the Sinnoh region is the one with the big mountain in it, so they can literally do the Skyrim thing of see that mountain, you can walk to that mountain, which we did 10 years ago.
It's a Pokemon.
Yeah, we've done this before. But it's a really fascinating one to use because the Sinnoh Dex is where they did a bunch of those, hey, remember those old Pokemon, we gave them new evolutions. Mm-hmm. We gave Electabuzz a new evolution, Magmar a new evolution, Mismagius, all these Pokemon that didn't have evolutions beforehand.
This is where they could add Sinnoh region types or something like that. You know how there's specific
like a Alolan
forms.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, do they have different forms? I don't think they will. I think what they'll end up doing is they'll use the story beats and maybe some side quests so that you can be the person that discovers, holy shit, if you give Electabuzz this thing, it evolves into an Electivire. Oh, wow, Piloswine evolves into Mamoswine using this. Like, all those extra evolutions that got added into. The baby Pokemon that got added in as well.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to change something else based off of trading Pokemon to evolve them as well.
Exactly. So there's going to be a lot of mechanics they're going to have to change.
Or just not put those Pokemon in there, like.
No, I mean,
Well, they can't. Electivire is a Sinnoh Pokemon.
But like that's the thing, we're getting Pokemon that aren't like from this.
Like Rowlet. So it could be a mixed match from all sorts of
Because like, that's the thing. Like,
no, but that's
The
the
premise
thing.
of the game if
is
it's
that
to
you're
fill
filling
out
the Sinnoh Pokédex.
You can't not have Sinnoh Pokemon in the
Yeah.
Sinnoh Pokédex.
my thing is that like some of the Sinnoh Pokemon wouldn't be there yet because they haven't migrated there yet or whatever. Like by
Could
the
be
time,
anything.
like 200 years, 300 years later.
They could write anything into it.
Yeah,
But
like I think
it'll
it's
be just
I think
those,
it's more likely that it is the Sinnoh Pokédex and you'll be discovering them. And the way I picture this is that there's a main story thread for the main Pokédex, and then there's sort of like the back end of the Pokédex, which has like the legendary Pokemon, and it has the way the Sinnoh's Pokédex is structured is really weird. In that, like, it's got your starters, and then it's got all of the regular Pokemon, and then towards the end of it, you've got this weird insert of all these new evolutions for Pokemon that had already been done. And then they got the legendaries after that. And my thought is that your main story is going to pull you through most of that regular Pokedex, apart from a couple of rare ones that you have to go, to try a little bit harder to find. Yeah, stuff like that.
Shaman.
Legendary.
Well, and we'll see where the legendaries go, but my thought is that there'll be some higher level side quests that will be those extra evolutions. Where there's a dude who's like, yeah, I brought my Electabuzz over from Kanto. Do you want to use him for a bit for this thing? I need some things over there. And you go over there and you discover a thing. And I also think because they specifically... There's some weird things about this game in that they kind of... The tagline that started the trailer was it's a new era for Pokemon.
Yeah.
So there's some interesting things here that I wanted to note. It's a standalone game.
It's one game.
There's no versions. There's no red, blue. There's no black, white. It's Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's a region with a lot of those trade evolutions in it. And it's a single-player game with no online connectivity. So my thought is, are they going to use this to retcon Pokemon entirely?
How so?
To remove a lot of the different mechanics that have become passé. We don't need to trade anymore. We've got online trading, and people we don't need that. We don't need a trade to make an evolution happen anymore. In fact, people don't like that because it means that some of your favorite Pokemon, you can't play a game with a Marchand, one of the most iconic Pokemon in history, or an Alakazam. You can't do it because you have to trade a fucking Kadabra and then trade it back, and it's a real pain in the ass. What if we remove that mechanic? What if we finally get rid of it? That's a cool idea. I'll be on board with that.
My thing from the idea that this is like a new era, so Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is made by a not Game Freak.
It's made by Ilka.
Ilka, which I googled because they don't even have a Wikipedia link page.
Yeah.
They were pretty much a support studio for a long time, and on really good games. Like the list is Metal Gear Solid Rising, or Metal Gear Rising Revenge, Yakuza 0, Nier Automata, Ace Combat 7, Dragon Quest 11. These are all good games, and they built Pokemon home. I'm like, they can help make games. I see what they can do with a remake. I'm like, cool with that. So this is Game Freak's next objective. Well, Legends Arceus is, and if it's a new era, it's Legends Arceus, which means, are we going to get Legends New? Are we going to get Legends Mega Beast?
I hope so. I hope
Ultra
this
Beasts?
game does gangbusters.
Oh, it would be awesome if this game led into the Ultra Beasts dimension. That would be sick.
I mean, I think it's a really interesting and smart thing that they've done with this whole thing, because Gen 4 is the weird gen because that's the one where they introduced Pokemon God.
Yeah.
And so it was really weird that we went to Gen 5 then and you kind of take a step back, and Gen 4 is kind of the peak of Legendary.
Gen 4's like, God, and Gen 5's like, hey, I'm walking in.
Yeah, exactly. Basically. Gen 5 is it's truth versus ideals is the theme of that game. And it's definitely going a little bit backwards from the literal Pokemon God.
Or even the main plots being they were breaking time and all space, and also Giratina's here. In Platinum, it's
it'll be really good. I think they've chosen a nice area to do a lot of mythical stuff, which is exactly the sort of that's what suits that type.
And
of
so
game stuff.
that's what I was thinking about. I was I think they've finally decided that it is a smart idea and possibly a good business idea. And this may be wrong. Like, it may crash and burn and tank it, and we don't know. It just depends on how this goes.
Yeah.
But I think they've finally figured out that it's a smart idea to perhaps split their fan base into... Yeah, let's split the party. Into Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond.
Yeah.
Which is essentially just a remake in some nice graphics, which will get every single person under the age of 12 to go and buy Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and play that for the first time like that, like we did when we were kids.
Yeah, because
now you've got your kids' Pokemon game. It's your kids' Pokemon game. It plays just like a regular one. There's no changes there. It is what it is. Go ham. Here you go. Here's the kids' game.
Yeah.
The Legends series could be the Pokemon game for the generation that is us.
Yeah, we've grown up.
We're adults.
Yeah.
Here's a game with no real storyline.
It could be a little more difficult.
A bit more open world.
Yeah.
Less hand-holdy. And deep into lore and mythos, which they tend to steer away from because they don't want to confuse their perceived childlike audience.
Yeah.
So this one could delve really deeply into mythology, which people my age, that's one of the things, one of the reasons I love Pokemon is that they've got this mythos that they've built over these 25 years.
It's like lightning.
But they barely fucking use it.
Maybe they'll finally do something with the ghost people that are always in every Pokemon game.
Yeah, stuff like that. Because they throw in these little nuggets of one of the tidbits about Arceus is that it has 1,000 arms. And that its 1,000 arms shape the universe. Like, okay, that's a cool idea. Can we expand on that, please?
I would like to see that.
The game. Also, side note, same thing happened last time around. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl don't look finished by the looks of it. And by what I can see, all it needs is a couple of lighting passes.
Yeah.
They need to fix their lighting engine, which every game developer on the planet says that's the last thing you do.
Yeah.
You fix everything else and you pass the lighting last.
Yeah. The other thing with Legends, the Chingling that was floating.
Mm-hmm. Its
I
frame
don't know
rate
much
was like
about
4.
Chingling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it just bad frame rate?
No,
or is that
it
how
appears
moves?
it appears so far. So the other thing with Legends Arceus we've got to remember is that they're still a year out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot happens in a year. A lot.
Because I imagine, so I'm referencing a conversation you told me the other day, I think after D&D, that the Pokemon Company, you want to explain that? The Pokemon Company does this footage is probably 3 months old already.
Yeah, probably. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when they announced Sun and Moon, I remember this very vividly because that was the 20-year anniversary. They did a similar sort of thing here, where they did this big old long retrospective on all Pokemon, and they announced Pokemon Sun and Moon. The difference between the 20th and the 25th was all that we got in that trailer was basically the names of the games. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, coming late this year. That was basically it. Apart from a little thing. There was a bit of a teaser trailer that basically just showed... It didn't show the game in development, it showed people developing. So it was a bunch of here's a dude sitting at a computer, and here's some concept art on a wall. And it was literally some sketches of the Pokemon Center, and the wireframe for Fletchling. So they showed that trailer. That game came out later that year. The trailer was shot 2 years ago, because they had people sitting at the wireframing of the bird and all this in the concepting phases. And so I've come to realize that Pokemon tends to shoot their trailers well in advance of when they show them. So when you see the trailer, chances are whatever they're showing you then is at least 3 or 4 months old. So whatever we're looking at is probably already had a couple of passes by the time we get to when it releases. So I'm looking at Arceus, and some of the Pokemon animations do look like their frames are a little bit out of whack. Their lighting engine also seems to be off.
Yeah.
In certain places. So again, I think we're just looking at probably the first pass of that video game that they were willing to show people.
Yeah, because what I was going to say with both games, that they have at least reached alpha state, which means the game is playable front to back.
Yes.
With Brilliant Diamond and Pearl, it's probably just just the lighting and just like bug fixing for the next like 9 months or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that's easy, that's done. Probably some art assets need to be changed here and there, but like it's just they're in the home run.
Yeah.
And then Legend is probably it just probably might not even have got to alpha, but like
yeah. I mean, and everything starts to make sense now when you look at it as well, because they've been talking about how Game Freak's been split into 2 teams basically.
Yeah.
And one team was working on Sword and Shield, and then as soon as Sword and Shield was over, they immediately moved on to the DLC. And then the thought was, well, what's the other team working on? And everyone thought, oh, they're working on Diamond and Pearl remakes, but that's not true because a different company's been working on Diamond and Pearl remakes. That other team, which got split off from Game Freak 2 or 3 years ago, after Ultra Sun or Moon, this is what they've been working on. Since then, it's like 5 years of development. Of course it looks better than Sword and Shield.
How
It's
cool
not-
would it be if, I just had a thought, when you're doing, you know how in Breath of the Wild you got the glider?
Mhm.
How cool would it be if you just throw a Pokeball up the air, Pidgey?
legit, like, it's like, okay, we'll get into the Breath of the Wild conversation now. Like, people like, oh, just because it's an open world, like, it's desolate landscape means Breath of the Wild. Like, no, when you show the shot, the exact same fucking shot from, like, camera swooping in, coming through, going in front, that's Breath of the Wild.
Well, it's a Breath of the Wild clone to me,
Well,
in the same way that there are Souls-likes and roguelikes.
to me, this is Pokemon Breath of the Wild.
This is a new genre.
Okay, specifically for me, this is Pokemon Breath of the Wild, as in, it is going to open up Pokemon in the way that Breath of the Wild opened up Zelda. Like, it's not going to be a clone of Breath of the Wild like Genshin Impact in Immortals is.
No, I know. But what I mean is, like, gaming genre as a whole.
Yeah.
I think it's a new one. I believe
genre.
this is a new genre of game.
It's
Just
just-
like how there's roguelikes, how there's Souls-likes.
There's Breath of the Wild likes.
To me, like, Breath of the Wild likes it's just the next step after Skyrim likes. Like,
Yeah,
it's
pretty
just that.
It's just an open world game, in my opinion. I don't agree. I disagree. I disagree with the idea of this opening up Pokemon because
The way they presented us, that's what they're telling us they're doing.
Absolutely.
Whether or not they're doing
I disagree with it because up until Breath of the Wild, the Zelda franchise was very diverse. Every game was different.
Yeah.
It followed the same structure of dungeons and all this kind of stuff, and you go through and you finish, and that's fine. But Ocarina to Twilight Princess to Skyward Sword to Majora's Mask to Link's Awakening to Phantom Hourglass, they're all different games. They're all so different with different art styles and all that kind of stuff. And this is the first time since Ocarina and Majora's Mask where we are going to get a sequel, a direct sequel to a Zelda game with the same art style and the same world, the same everything. Because Breath of the Wild was so popular and so well. And they did the same thing with Ocarina. And Majora's Mask is legitimately, I don't care what you say, not as good. It's not as good as Ocarina of Time. And I don't think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be as
Why'd
good.
you look at me? I
No,
never
it's more
played
like
this. I never played those games.
My worry is that you catch lightning in a bottle once, and then you try and recreate it again and again.
It works in
and
Breath
again.
of the Wild, so you can do that.
The asshole.
Um,
My worry is that what this turns into is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where Breath of the Wild was so fucking good and people love it, and you can never get back to it. You can't replicate it.
it's like crack.
Yeah, it's like that first hit when you can't. No, you literally can't recreate the Breath of the Wild feel, and they're going to try and do it, and I don't think it's going to work.
I honestly like the approach that a lot of companies are taking towards their own version of Breath of the Wild, because none of it is exactly the same so far. I know that Genshin Impact has tried to make it as close as
And see,
possible.
this is the thing: is I find Genshin Impact so obnoxious.
Look, it is, and it's just what if Zelda Breath of the Wild was a dating sim?
No, it's what if Breath of the Wild was a gotcha game? Like, that's all it is.
I honestly don't like the way that it plays in terms of you can't create your own character. It's supposed to be open world and it's supposed to be online. If it's an online game, I'm sorry, let me create my own character.
Yep.
But
I worry that we're gonna end up with.
I think from what I can see with this Pokemon game, it does remind me a lot of Breath of the Wild. But I'm not saying that I'm not sitting there and expecting that it's going to give me the same feeling as Breath of the Wild.
No.
I am sitting there and thinking Breath of the Wild, the genre itself, made me really happy. I am really excited to be able to play it in an open world again like that, because there's never really the closest thing I had to that beforehand was Skyrim.
Yeah.
But Skyrim itself,
Yeah.
again, is different. I put Skyrim, Fallout, and all that in their own category.
Yeah.
This is meant to be played in the third person. This is meant to tell a story, not create your own, really. I like that idea of following that. I
Yeah.
think that it's an easy genre to be able to lead from.
I think it's...
It needs to be done right, though. You can't sit there and try to recreate the same thing.
I worry that the Breath of the Wild comparisons are going to hobble this Pokemon game before it even gets off the ground.
No, I know
That people are looking for a Breath of the Wild like, and you're going to get that in Breath of the Wild 2, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck that's going to be called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to get that. This is not that. This is something totally different. Because the thing that makes Breath of the Wild special, in my opinion, is the abilities that Link has.
Yeah.
Because they are all given to you at the start,
Yeah.
and you can use them in any combination, and there is no wrong answer to any of the puzzles that they have.
Yeah.
If you can fucking make it work, you can make it work.
it's the
Yeah.
systems in that game.
The systems that make it amazing. The open world, like if you didn't have those systems, that game's an open world game, like every
Yeah.
other motherfucking open world
Yeah.
game. It's
Yeah.
not that much bigger. It's not that much better. And again, to the people who are like, we should have a Pokemon game that looks like Breath of the Wild. I don't think Breath of the Wild looks that great. It's good. It's pretty.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like realism, it
Yeah.
doesn't look that good. In fact, this new Pokemon trailer looks more realistic
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild does. But I worry that people are going to want that because I don't think that's what you can do in a Pokemon game, because the essence of Pokemon is catch, train, level up. So the abilities that you have at the end of the game are going to be vastly different
Yeah.
from the abilities you have at the start of the game. And it's that key concept that will mean that the Breath of the Wild feeling won't be here. It ain't going to be there. Sorry. I hate to break it to you, it's just not going to be there. So it's going to be a different thing. And I just don't want that Breath of the Wild concept to, like I said, hobble the legs of this
Yeah,
game
yeah.
before it's even been released.
Before it's been released, yeah.
Yeah. Especially a year.
I-
It's probably like one of the longest lead-ins to a.
I'm
They
just-
never announce games this early in advance.
I am mostly excited to
What about
explore.
Pokemon Sleep? It's still not out.
Oh fuck! I forgot about Pokemon Sleep.
Sorry, continue.
Sorry, cancel my pre-order. The Pokemon.
Fucking hell. No, I'm just excited to explore, and I think that this is an awesome way to do it. Being able to like crawl through a cave and find a fucking Roggenroll or whatever it will be.
Yeah.
Zubat.
Zubat, fucking shitloads of Zubat.
Zubat and Geodude.
Yeah. So I think
Gen
that's
4
gonna be awesome. Fucking crawling through the freaking forest and finding a I don't know scuttlebutt.
Was it Cranidos that was?
Cranidos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cranidos, Rampardos, Shieldon, Bastion.
They might not even be in it. Because
No,
they're-
they might be in it.
No, ancient Pokemon means before. They're the dinosaurs of the.
No, not necessarily. Some of the Pokedex entries for certain of the Pokemon suggest that they perhaps were,
They're just
much like the
extinct.
Tasmanian tiger, hunted into extinction as opposed to actually being extinct by natural causes, depending on the Pokemon.
I think like for the Sinnoh one, they are specifically dinosaurs because of how.
I think
They chose a very interesting. I just realised because they've got Palkia and
Dialga.
Dialga.
which is time.
Time
Which
and
you-
space.
literally, they could just be like they're fucking around with stuff, and Pokemon are coming out the wazoo.
They could.
Ultra Beast because of the different dimensions. Fucking
I
anything
don't
can
think
happen.
they will, because I think they'll keep Dialga and
Yeah.
Palkia to the remakes, the
Yeah.
Brilliant and
I imagine you'll
Shining.
be able to catch them, but they won't be part
Yeah.
of the plot. Yeah.
I think the plot will focus on Arceus.
Arceus.
obviously.
But he's God, and he's creating.
you can do
Pokemon.
whatever you
I
want.
imagine it'll be like the not Diamond or
Yeah.
Platinum legendaries. Like it'll
Yeah.
be like Yuki, like the Lake Trio, and then maybe like.
Oh, but the Lake
The
Trio
more-
have the Lake Trio are very much intertwined with the story of Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, heavily so.
They did.
Team
a-
You
Galactic.
have to catch them as part of the story. Or
You don't have to.
You battle
to
them
battle
as part of the story.
they're very intertwined with them.
As far as I've been made aware, they did a really good job with all of the legendary and the lore around the legendary Pokemon in Gen 4.
Gen 4 was the legendary generation.
They had a
Like
lot.
it had the most legendaries, I think, added of any.
Heatran, Giratina, Dialga, Palkia, Arceus,
Cresselia,
Darkrai,
Yuxi,
Shaman.
Mesprit,
yeah,
Azelf,
the lake trio,
Yeah.
fucking
Shaman.
That's already 11.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's more.
I'm pretty sure there's more we're missing. But
Lugia again, 5 times. At the Pokemon League, was there. Defeated Ash.
It was Latios, but
Oh, I thought it was Lugia.
Latios. Oh, that's Hoenn.
that's
Oh,
how
that's Hoenn?
Anyway, it is the legendary generation. It's the one where they do the most of that kind of
Because
stuff.
that's the one where they did all the lore building, which was like, we have a god, we have the sub-gods, we have the human
Reggie
spectrum.
Gigas.
Oh, Reggie
Reggie
Gigas.
Gigas.
Yes,
Oh,
Reggie Gigas was added in that
absolutely.
generation as well.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Big Mountain. Reggie
More or less.
I want them to do Reggie stuff in this game. That would be awesome.
Well, they tried that with the last one.
No.
And it looked shit.
To be able to explore and like delve around with the Reggie
Well, see,
idea
the fact
in
that-
that style.
the fact that they added 2 new Reggies in Sword and Shield makes me think that maybe we will get something like the first thought I had when they said Ancient Sinnoh was like, oh fuck, is this gonna be when Reggie Gigas, because it's in the lore of Pokemon, Reggie Gigas moved the continents.
That's true.
And my thought was like, is this going to be where they move Sinnoh to where it is? Is that going to be, or was it just moved to where it is, which is why
They found
we
it.
need to we found it and now we need to work it.
Well, there was a civilization there. It was a very small one, but there was a town in
Yeah.
the trailer.
So the town they have mentioned is the base, and the professor who has come to this region has
What's his name?
has set up this town.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Rowan.
Rowan.
I think they're going to have a young Rowan, and I think what we're going to end up having is at the end of the game, Rowan gets teleported in time forward to where he then becomes a professor with Oak, and that's how.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think it'll be a young Rowan.
I think it might at most be a ancestor of Rowan.
Well, what's
I-
a really old tree?
I think one of the funny things about Rowan as a Pokemon professor is that a lot of his lore is actually shrouded in mystery. It is said
You're making points.
it is said somewhere, I can't remember, there's an NPC that says that Rowan is the one who taught Professor Oak. But when you look at their ages, they're not that far different in age. So how could Rowan have taught Professor Oak? Makes sense if he's travelled in time. If he's leapt forward and has all this knowledge of Pokemon, but is about the same age as Samuel Oak.
Is that his first name?
Sam.
Yeah, Samuel.
I always wondered what Ash's dad's name was.
Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime, yeah.
Yeah.
Giovanni. Fucking Giovanni.
Giovanni. Yeah.
That's a theory.
It's a theory I have running at the moment. We'll see what happens. And again, the cool thing about Legends Arceus is that it is.
You reckon there'll be a team?
Yes.
That's
I was going to
cool.
mention that. They've taken screenshots of the clothes that you wear. In Japanese specifically, there's a symbol on the side. The symbol.
It's a big R.
it's yellow.
Yep.
And it is very much the same style as the Team Galactic symbol.
Oh.
And if you take the Japanese kanji that it's written in it, the kanji on there is the kanji for Galactic.
Oh.
So it seems as though we're looking at maybe how Team Galactic was formed.
Like they might be.
Like they might be the people who settled
Yeah.
Sinnoh was actually Team Galactic.
Or maybe Team Galactic is like this radical offshoot, like going back to like the core ideas of the foundings of
Yeah.
Sinnoh or something like
Yeah,
that. Like,
or
kind of
maybe-
like the Nazis. And they weren't as bad as Nazis.
Kind of like the Nazis going
The
back
idea
in
about the
time.
Nazis is that they like took this law and like you were gonna like be super dogmatic about it, but then they weren't.
Or perhaps Team Galactic was simply formed when Cyrus, the leader of it, was just researching the history of Sinnoh, came across this symbol and like appropriated it.
Yeah.
Took this symbol.
That's kind of what I was going
Yeah,
for.
yeah. Took this symbol and went, oh, this looks cool. I'll make it a G. And now I have my team. But yeah, no, there's like it's too similar to be a coincidence.
Okay.
Like the symbol looks almost identical, and it is just Japanese kanji instead of a G. And yeah, someone translated it and was like, yeah, no, it's the kanji for galaxy or galactic.
The thing I like about also this is that like it kind of gives me more vibes of Kanto Johto. Like they were older like things. Like obviously they had the modern cities in there, but they were like they were the country regions as opposed to Sinnoh or even like Black and White, which were like,
Unova,
cities and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It, like it kind of gives us that like tree stuff.
It feels a lot more. It definitely feels a lot more in line of like the original Pokemon games of like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm traveling a vast landscape.
Yeah, I will travel across the land searching far and wide.
Exactly. I am very much.
That was good.
But here's the other thing as well. I think people seem to forget, and I don't know why, or I don't know how everyone forgot, that the Pokemon slogan has changed.
What?
From Gotta Catch 'Em All.
Yeah, it changed in the 20th anniversary. 5 years ago, they changed that slogan. The Pokemon slogan is not Gotta Catch 'Em All anymore. The Pokemon slogan is Train On.
Oh, I never noticed that.
I've never heard that.
That there was a big deal about it when they changed it in 20. That they stopped using the phrase "Gotta catch 'em all," because honestly, I feel like they knew this was gonna come. The Sword and Shield stuff specifically, the cutting the Pokédex, and this kind of thing here, where this isn't going to be about catching them all. Not necessarily.
It's about studying them.
It's about studying them and lore and other things as well. But the Pokemon changed their catchphrase to Train On like 5 years ago.
Wikipedia's still saying it is.
I think it's because no one ever took it. Like it didn't catch on, so they just
Everyone's
stopped.
just like, no.
Yeah, but like they officially tried to change their slogan to Train On.
I don't like change. I need change. Duh.
Exactly. That was the thing, is that like everyone seemed to have forgotten that instance of like, your slogan's got to catch them all. Like, no, it wasn't. You fuckers just didn't accept it.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can find is some like Sun and Moon era stuff,
Yeah.
which is just like 2016, and then everything else is nothing. Like trains about Pokemon. Like choo-choo, motherfucker.
Yeah, but no, that like I said, that was the 20th anniversary year.
Yeah.
That was the year they tried to change it. So you can see,
Agnostic.
you can see that like all of the complaints the Pokemon community has had over the years, the Pokemon company was well aware of it. They weren't fucking stupid. They tried their best to try and get everyone to kind of steer the ship in the direction they knew was going to happen. There's just no Pokemon fan ever accepts it. I put myself in that boat too. Like I didn't accept the change either. But like no Pokemon fan is sitting there going, oh yeah, no, it's fair enough, that's a smart idea. They're all just like, no, I want my fucking love disc, give it to me.
Love disc.
Useless. No love disc in Legends Arceus. And I just find that hilarious too, is that how much of the internet is like, Legend Arceus is the game I wanted. I'm like, really? Because it's going to have none of the Pokedex in it. Like,
How interesting would it be to swim and find like
That's pretty
underwater
big.
Pokemon and all that sort of stuff?
oh, by itself, yeah.
That'd be cool. Swimming to find underwater Pokemon.
Oh, hell
That
yeah.
would be
Hell yeah. Swimming, diving.
If we can get like the thing I was talking about Nathaniel last night was that it'd be interesting if we like they do get it from puzzle stuff, like we have some like interesting dungeon designs. Like the Pokemon 2D dungeons are pretty solid.
There are
Sword and Shield, it was just you just walk through.
I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the most disappointing part for me. Like the games itself were good. I had no problem with anything, and I never really complained about it until this moment. But you're right.
But now that I'm here, fuck those games.
I think the most complicated cave was the first cave you go into, where you like there's one offshoot and you can go around and grab some items.
the cave systems in modern Pokemon suck.
Yeah.
They've sucked since X and Y.
Yeah, X and Y.
And taken 3D.
The thing that got me, the first time I started watching the trailer and it did the open world thing, I thought it was going to be another Ranger game.
Pokemon
Yeah,
Ranger.
it's got Ranger vibes. I can see that.
It was just like a standalone kind of
But that's
dude out
interest-
on an adventure.
Me and my mate were joking like it'd be great if they did a Ranger remake or a successor, because like last year they did the Mystery Dungeon remake, and I'm like, to me they're two sides of the Pokemon spin-offs, the Mystery Dungeon and the Rangers.
Yeah.
Mystery Dungeon got flooded,
Yeah.
and then there were two there might have been a third.
I think there was three. I think there was three.
I don't know if it ever got localized or not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was two DS ones and a 3DS one, or something like that.
Maybe.
And one of them didn't get released in the Western.
Regardless, me and my friend were joking like, it'd be great. But if you were thinking, Ranger vibes, like that would make so much sense. It's like,
for like
we're not
the
going to do the
dungeons.
12, which is like one of my favorite mechanics. But if you're like,
you have this Pokemon that helps you with your like a partner Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
But he's
and then
not
you go
in
into
your-
like a dungeon and it's
Yeah.
like you need an electric Pokemon to conduct this electricity across.
going back to Nate's idea to like, do the Pidgey to like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Starly.
I mean, that's that's one of the things.
Again,
that,
I never played Gen 4.
Well, that's one of the things that actually pisses me off about the remake side of it, is that over the last several generations they have made leaps and bounds in changing the mechanics. No HMs,
Yeah.
TMs that don't break.
Yeah.
All of that stuff, the TMs that don't break, that started in Gen 5. The HMs, that was Gen 7. This remake is 1-to-1. I don't want there to be HMs.
Yeah, it breaks your team.
But if they're in there, like it's really
That's the thing. I really want to know what they mean by faithful. Like, is it just because I don't think the gameplay. Like, they've got to introduce that sort of stuff that they rebalance. They've got to do the Mega Evolutions.
Are they going to do Z moves? Are they going to do Gigantamax?
Well, they took Z moves out. Gigantamax, I don't think they can do based on the look and engine that they've got. I don't think that's.
Well, Gigantamax works based off of an area.
Yeah, they really explained that. Like, this only works in very specific spots.
Yes.
Sinnoh doesn't have those spots.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put it in a tray?
Just
I mean,
dig
there
up
was
some dirt and just put that.
There
on.
was a bunch of theory making around the time as well about like, well, I mean, you could in theory, because Regigigas is found in the Crown Tundra in the southernmost part of
Wait, Regigigas is?
Regigigas. You can get Regigigas in the Crown Tundra.
Yeah.
Finish that.
in a Dynamax raid, if you have all 5 Regis in your party,
Oh.
one of the Dynamax dens will activate, and you can go in and grab a Gigantamax or Dynamaxed Regigigas. The theory was, well, what if Sinnoh was connected to the Crown Tundra, and that was where Regigigas pulled it apart, and therefore you could, in theory, because also the Pokemon timeline has split.
Yeah.
You could then say, well, in this new remake of Sinnoh, there's the Gigantamax energy in Sinnoh. You can there are power spots where you could do Dynamax there.
The timeline split
X and Y.
No, yeah, I'm thinking like at a specific point, like either like year 2008 or no, because it was splitting.
And then it merged
like the
with
old
Final Fantasy with fucking Eternatus.
Because it's the Mega Revolution event.
Did
Like
not
one
look like
timeline
Pokemon.
failed, the other one worked, and then that's the split, which is like hundreds
Yes.
of years ago.
No, the split's 3,000 years ago,
Okay, cool.
I think.
The what?
The Mega Revolution split. So in the lore, when they're explaining it, she's like, oh yeah, 3,000 years ago, a scientist tried to make Mega Revolution. And so the original game before X and Y, that's all the one where it failed. And everything after X and Y is the other
and then there's 2 different timelines, and they also happen in different because the original timeline's fucked as well because Ruby and Sapphire take place at the same time as Red and Blue.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just concurrent stories.
Yeah, concurrent stories.
But it is like, I'm just stuck on this local game versus I'm gonna fucking...
I'm destroying continents. Yeah.
But,
I'm 10.
But there was something else that somebody brought up. I saw this comparison. It's like, does anybody else find it really strange? If you played Gen 6, you'll remember. Does anyone else find it really strange that the darkest day in Galar was the same day the massive war happened?
Yep.
Gen 6?
Yep.
Was also 1,000 years ago.
Yep.
So you remember, what's his name? Z?
AZ.
AZ?
Yeah.
A-Z. Remember him with his floette?
Alpha Omega.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. The theory currently is that because Galar is UK and Kalos is France, that the war that triggered the ultimate weapon was actually a war that happened along between those 2 regions. Just like how France and England fight all the fucking time in regular history, these 2 also fought all the fucking time. And the difference was that when they activated the Infinity Energy, they got Mega Evolution out of it. But when it happened with the Ultimate Weapon, the English, instead of getting Mega Evolution or Z Crystals, they just got a bunch of giant Pokemon that rocked up, and they were like, "Oh fuck, what do we do?" So that's the difference there.
Okay.
There's theories about all that kind of stuff. The problem is because they've done so much retconning and time splitting and all that kind of stuff, it's hard to get anything sort of grounded.
Yeah.
Which is why I also like this new Legends Arceus in that it grounds everything for Gen 4 so Gen 4 starts the story of Sinnoh starts here. Yeah. And then you can clearly delineate where we go, and they can use this as a jumping off point for every remake going forward. They can use this for every generation going forward. They can use this as the grounding point of okay, the Pokemon story starts here, or the story we're trying to tell starts here, and we just move from there. I'm really looking forward to this game.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is successful, if this supplants the remake structure.
Yeah.
Because like, do we need a Gen 5? Like everyone always asks, but do we need a Gen 5 remake?
I think we still do. I think we do because of the.
As much as it hurts me, I think I would call the quits for the remakes for now at Gen 6 because that's when it went 3D.
And
I love Gen 6.
I think what. Okay, so the Pokemon Company has decided. Years ago, I knew a mate who went to a thing with Pokemon, and in that thing, they talked about how the Pokemon Company, and this was just before X and Y, they said in that meeting, so this is almost 10 years ago now, we want to try and make sure we are doing surprising things. They wanted to basically, back in X and Y, they basically wanted to stop dead the idea of red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, ruby, sapphire, emerald, diamond, pearl, platinum. They just wanted to kill that dead. They were sick and tired of it.
Because it would have worked with black and white too.
Exactly. So they did black and white and then black and white 2, and they're like, let's try something different. So they did X and Y and then no third game. Fuck you. No
Which made me sad, because they had so much that you could do.
And then they did Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which wasn't like the Heart Gold and Soul Silver stuff, because there was like extra lore added in and other stuff on top. And Heart Gold and Soul Silver still is pretty faithfully to it. It just adds in the Pokedex from Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
So it's just, other than that, it's pretty faithful recreation. And then they've gotten weirder with it. You know, Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and Sword and Shield is a little bit weird now as well.
DLC.
Yeah, and then they've got the Let's Go, which is a totally like out of left field. Like, hey, like here's something that's just like a little bit more fun and casual. You know, it's way less of a Pokemon game. It's like
because that's my question. Like, is this replacing the remakes or is this replacing Let's Go?
I don't think it's replacing anything. I think it's just another thing they want to do.
Do you think Let's Go continues?
I think Let's Go will continue because it actually did really well.
Yeah, it did.
I think they'll do Let's Go Johto.
A lot of people like kind of want it because Johto is beloved.
Yeah, and I think
I know again. I've played 2, and I've played 2, 4, or 5, or 7. I played 1, 3, 6, and 8.
So Gold and Silver are like
among the best Pokemon games.
I know. I got halfway through it, but I was a sucker for restarting Yellow a million times to choose Pikachu.
Well, here's the best thing. Here's the best thing. You can finish Gold and Silver, and then you can replay Yellow just after finishing it. Yeah, going. Great like that.
I don't think this replaces the remake formula. I think what we may end up seeing instead is I think we will get a Gen 5 remake. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I think, bold prediction, Cotton, I think they're going to put the two together. I think you'll get black and white, black 2.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get black and black 2 together, white and white 2 together. I think you're going to get some sort of either bundle package where it's like 2 games and you finish one and you start the next one.
Okay.
Or they're going to merge the stories in some way so it's one remake that releases and you get both sides of it.
Yeah. Because like that's what they have done. Like the Alpha and Omega did the Emerald stuff and with the Delta demos, and I really like that.
And I think that's where you're going to end up there. And I think then at that point, I think it would make sense not to remake X and Y, but to give X and Y sequels.
To give Z, make Z,
based on the new mechanics and new things that you do, you can then create a Kalos region like the Sinnoh thing and expand on it a little bit.
I think what they're going to end up doing is they're going to start commissioning more and more outside companies to
I
start
think
doing.
the remakes are just...
Niantic did Let's Go? Who did Let's Go?
Let's Go was done by Game Freak.
Okay.
Yeah, they did
that was them just...
I don't think they're going to do that again.
No, I think Game Freak said that Let's Go was just them tinkering on the engine for Switch. Basically been like, how do you make a console game? We don't know how to do this. Because they've never done it before.
You want to throw shit at your screen?
Yeah.
we didn't get a chance to do that on the Wii, so we want to try
we're trying it now. But they basically... I think that the remakes and side games are now being let off to another team. And Game Freak will focus on the main series Pokemon game, which apparently they are saying Legends Arceus is 1. They are including it in the main series canon. They are saying it is a main series game. So it is included in everything. So
Yeah.
I think they will now.
This is the start of something.
This will
bigger.
start something new and different. And I think Gen 9 is, unfortunately, possibly a little bit further off.
Yeah.
I'm not. I like not even 2023. I'm thinking maybe 2024.
Yeah.
It would be awesome to see an Australian version.
Ru-
Professor Gum.
Current
I like that. Yeah.
current rumor is Australia is the next region.
Is
What's
that the rumor?
Yeah.
that?
So
The next
every
region as well.
is Australia.
Oh.
Every Pokemon game has a reference to the next region in it somewhere in the game. The only thing that anyone's been able to pull from Sword and Shield is a globe sitting somewhere in someone's room is angled so Australia is facing the camera.
Oh.
It's the
I kinda
only
wanna
thing
say,
anyone.
like, that's also Japan, or is it like
No, it's clearly Australia is the only thing you can see on that globe.
interesting? Okay.
And there's nothing else in the entire game that seems to reference, but they always do it. So everyone's like, "Is that it? It may be it. That might be it."
If we have a AAA game based in Australia, I'm gonna shit my pants.
We have. We have.
And then our government will ban it.
There has been a AAA game based in
It's
Australia.
called Mad Max. 2015 released the
Sorry.
same day as
No,
Metal Gear
it's
Solid
called
5.
Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah, that only
It's set in literal Australia,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
real life.
Yeah, no, it is.
drive down Bondi Beach, Australia.
Yeah, but then you end up in fucking Perth somehow.
It's like a 2-minute drive over.
We've done it. But like, yeah, an Australian region I would love.
Yeah.
Whereas a gum would be great.
Like koalas and like hopefully they do some like New Zealand stuff in there so we get like
Oh yeah, it would be awesome to have that. Like
That's the
Australia,
DLC.
New Zealand.
sorry.
Yeah.
That's the DLC.
yeah.
You take
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon Chili Bun.
Yeah.
Pokemon Chili Beans and
Yeah.
Pokemon Subaru.
We'll play the DLC, Pokemon Frozen Cunts.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, they could do it with like Australia mainland, and then they could have
And
like
then-
a New Zealand and a Tasmania.
And then
Yeah.
when that Pokemon Day comes out, we change the date from Australia Day to that day.
Pokemon
Change
saves
the day.
Australia.
Pokemon saves everything.
The Liberal government has to surrender to the Pokemon Company. We are now overlorded by feudal Japan.
Fuck, I'll take the Pokemon Company over Murdoch anyway.
Right?
So, with all of that being said, which version are we all gonna get?
Diamond. I've always gotten Diamond.
Same.
I really like
Brilliant.
Diamond was the game I got after Ruby.
Okay, let me be honest here. I'm gonna buy Diamond first. I will get Pearl.
Yeah.
I get all of them. I have a problem.
I always
I-
get the one that everybody doesn't get, so
I-
I'll probably get Pearl.
I'm getting Diamond.
Yeah. Like
That's the first
I
one
usually
I
ask Dean, what one are you going to get? And he'll say it, and I'm like, cool, I'm getting the other one.
because like I don't know, like Diamond is the one I finished the Pokédex in. Like every Pokemon except for like Mew and like the hard ones, like the special event Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I like, and it's the one I've like put like 400 hours into. So like that's like the special game to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's probably gonna be that one.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Which is like, because when I went back and played the Gen 3 remakes, I'm like, no, I'll do the opposite. Like I'll do the Alpha Sapphire.
Here's the other thing: if that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl remakes are full priced,
Are they full priced? Well, full price here, which is still $89. They're not going to be.
I don't. That sits wrong with me
Okay.
because I don't think they should be.
Link's Awakening was full price, so it's full price here.
I don't think it was. I thought it was $79.95 for Link's Awakening.
That's full. Full
ten-
price is weird in this country.
It is weird in this country, but like I'm pretty sure it was like basically I think it was a $50 game in the States instead of a $60
I
game.
think it was $60 in the States.
Which starter are we gonna go for?
I always pick Chimchar because Diamond and Pearl don't have any fucking fire types.
Fair.
That for some reason they just decided to not put many fire types in that Pokedex.
It's like Magmortar's the only one I can think of.
And Ponyta.
I like Turtwig.
Is that it?
That's it.
There's no dual typing?
Nope.
Okay, I'll probably get Chimchar.
Magmortar, Ponyta, Rapidash, and the Chimchar line are the only fire types in the Sinnoh Pokedex. And that's why I'm a little bit bugged about the faithful recreation, because one of the things I was hoping was that they would rebalance that Pokedex to put some fucking fire types in it, because it's a fucking shit show.
Because like the way, like the last remakes, where they were the XY, so you get some X and Y Pokemon in there as well. Like the idea that some people's disappointment is that like Sword and Shield, we get some of the Galarian Pokemon in there. Like
Yeah.
you get like when you go up to someone, it's just like, oh, got a Galarian Meowth. Do you want to trade a Zero Meowth?
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation too. Like we don't know because the Diamond and Pearl remakes have connectivity to the internet. We don't know how the trading is going to work, and we don't know how compatible it's going to be with certain games. Because one of the things that Home introduced was like you can't trade this one into this game. Like they can just do that. They can say no, this Pokemon can't come in. And like I said this when Sword and Shield came out. The Pokedex being cut is just the way it is now.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to have to get used to the fact that not every Pokemon game is going to have every Pokemon in it.
I think eventually what they will do is they'll get up to a standard where the main series will probably try to keep up with that. But then the offcuts will eventually not have that. Or at least have a huge portion of it.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't fazed by Gen 8 not having every single fucking Pokemon in it, because it did make me open my eyes to other Pokemon that were right in front of me the whole time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have just gone with the same team.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I'm saying, like with Diamond and Pearl, it's hard to not pick Chimchar every fucking time because there's no other fire types. I'm trying, the playthrough I was trying before, I decided to pick Piplup because I'd never played a Piplup playthrough. But it means I got a fucking Ponyta as my fire type, and it's not great. It's kind of not fun. Because Ponyta is a great Pokemon design-wise. I like Ponyta. I like the look of it. I think it's cute, but competitively and in battle, it fucking sucks.
What if you just swap out fire for just dragon?
There's no dragon types to catch.
Except legendaries.
No, you can get a dragon type right before the Elite Four in a Gibble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's ages away. And like, there's no... Up until Generation 6, the idea of having a dragon type in your party before the pseudo-legendary was just not a thing.
There better be Sylvia.
There won't be.
You don't think so?
Unless you can Pokemon home it in, like...
Yeah.
Well, is it going to be Eeveeing?
Yeah.
Well, then you'll probably be able to evolve it.
No, not necessarily.
Probably not natively. Because, like, you can't do...
I don't... Like, what... The mechanic for Sylveon doesn't exist in Diamond and Pearl.
Well, there's no mechanic for Sylveon anymore.
Yeah,
it was
is.
just make it happy, but, like, that's been different in every single game.
There'll be a happiness factor.
It's happiness and a fairy move.
Yeah, Baby Doll Eyes, which is something that it learns naturally through leveling.
Oh, I guess they could do it then, but I don't know if
Happiness was in Diamond and Pearl.
it was. But I don't know. I don't know if the type chart's going to be the same.
Oh, they wouldn't get rid of Fairy. I don't see it happening.
Like, that's the thing. I think you're taking Faithfully Remake as like faithful. You're believing that. I don't know how much of that.
That's what I'm saying is I don't know,
I think
because
the
literally
story's
every other
gonna be the same.
remake they've done, when they do it, they bring it right into the art style of the current generation of game, which makes you go, cool, we're lining it up with what the current mechanics are. But this thing is not that.
Not even Game Freak. Like, it's,
Yeah, exactly. So did they just literally port it across? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Because fairy types also break that game in a weird way.
I'm not that upset about
How,
well, it would be mostly breaking that
Boston.
game because aren't most of the hard people to fight dragon type?
Correct.
Yeah,
the
so if you had fairy
the
type,
reason
fuck
Cynthia is
it up.
such a bastard to beat is because her team is made up of types that don't have many weaknesses. But if you throw fairy types into that game, her Spiritomb, fucked. Her Garchomp, done. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not. She's not a challenge when you have fairy types in the game.
Sylveon it is.
So, like, I don't know what they're doing balancing wise there.
You might just change her Pokemon to be.
They could do
But
that.
the team is part of what makes her her.
I was
what
going to
makes
say, her Garchomp is like...
Yeah, that's her.
That you would
Yeah.
keep, but like the
The same way that
Spiritomb,
like Steven has Metagross.
Why not, right?
Who knows?
I don't know. It's weird.
It depends on what they do and how
There is a
faithful they
lot-
make it. And,
There's a lot we don't know about this stuff, and there's a lot of
but
speculation.
I also don't really give a shit about this because we're getting the other game.
Yeah, like honestly, the way I'm looking at it is Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is going to be a really good way to tide me over until the early next
It's
year.
exactly, let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee. That is exactly what it is.
Just tide me over until I get that Arceus game.
That's what I thought. Like Link's Awakening was going to be like. This is going to be great. It'll be like the next year or in 18 months. Like Breath of the Wild 2 will be great out. That didn't happen. The thing I did realize is that if it's on track, Breath of the Wild 2 and Arceus will probably come out within 3 months of each other at least.
Probably.
So that's a.
Do you think that'll...
I get the feeling that in Pokemon Legends Arceus you will complete much quicker than you would a Breath of the Wild game.
Yeah.
You
I
won't be
imagine-
spending hundreds of hours doing weird shit. You'll probably just do it and put it down.
I
And
also saw someone's tweet that was like, if it ends up being real, which who knows if Nintendo will cancel it or not, but the Switch Pro comes out, it's got a pretty good launch lineup for like revitalizing the system, because it's got Breath of the Wild 2, which will probably be on track for that. It's got Arceus. It's got
Metroid Prime 4 probably.
Metroid Prime.
Probably Bayonetta 3.
Maybe that actually ends up happening. But there's a bunch of games that could bolster hey, it runs better here.
Yes.
I don't know how Breath of the Wild 2 is going to run on the Switch as is, because the first one was fine, but it was fine. Yeah, it's going to be, especially if it's all early next year.
I tell you what, this has done though. The trailer has made me want to go back and play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I haven't played the DLC, so I've still got that content to go through.
I haven't.
I've never played the DLC either, but
I never
the
finished the
DLC
game.
Never really. Oh, really?
Bruv. To be fair, the story's not oh my fucking, the twist at the end, mate.
No, the story's not that great, and to be honest, when you finish the game, you feel pretty shit because you don't actually finish the game.
Well, see, that game, again, I ran into the same problem I did with most open world games, which they were like, go do what you want, and my answer was like, well, I don't want to do this then. Whenever a game says, do what you want, I'm like, well, tell me what to
whenever I play an open world game, whenever that comes across, I just pick the most attractive thing on the map, and that's what I go to. And then it becomes an adventure game, and I love that shit.
Yeah.
I eat that shit up.
It's just not me.
The only thing, the thing is I think, God of War got that right, because it was just enough open world to be, and just linear enough to just have this awesome storytelling.
Yeah.
God of War had brilliant design top to bottom.
Yeah.
It is one of the master classes of excellent game design.
Anyway, we're getting off track of Pokemon.
Which probably means we should wrap
Yeah.
up. Because we think we've talked about as much about the Pokemon stuff as we can.
Yeah.
Considering we got 4 minutes tops of trailer, that's all we've got.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of speculation to be had, and there's a long time before that game comes out.
Yeah,
And
about 9 months
fucking
until the remake.
keen to beat the shit out of Barry.
Oh yeah, fuck that cunt.
Fucking hate
Why
Barry.
do you hate Barry?
Barry's such a
Fucking hate Barry. Barry's
Barry's
the rival.
plain and
Is this
boring.
Fuck with.
This a Gen 4 thing?
Yeah.
He's your rival.
He
and
sucks,
he just keeps,
dude.
He keeps
You guys
trying
never
to
played
fucking-
Gen 4, right?
No, I have.
He keeps
Okay.
trying to hound you out of money. He's like, oh, you were late by a minute. That's going to cost you $10 million. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude,
That's
shut
not
up.
a personality.
See,
I don't
that's what made me laugh about when I was playing Gen 8. I was just like, Hop is just Dean.
Ah, you used a fire type move. Ah, fucking glad you got me.
I see you know your
See, you've played
Jujutsu.
Knifey Spoony
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
I forgot that happened.
It's not me.
Every time you're playing the game, and it's just like, oh my fucking god, oh.
I'm not me.
Alright.
Alright, if you
Alright.
enjoyed this episode, click the like button, subscribe. What's your thoughts on Pokemon? Do you want Pokemon and Arceus? Are you excited for the potential Pokemon Legends new?
What starter will you choose in Legends? Cyndaquil,
Cyndaquil.
Rowlet,
It's
or...
Cyndaquil.
Really?
Cyndaquil.
Rowlet.
Rowlet goes alright.
Decidueye will fuck everything.
Cyndaquil.
A
Cyndaquil is
ghost,
bad.
a ghost type from the get-go versus a plain fire type?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil.
Fuck me.
It's because Gen 2
Decidueye.
doesn't have
I will say
Yeah.
one last thing
I'm
about the Pokemon starters that they've chosen. I think that they have done really well.
I think it's
with
really smart.
keeping it
We also
even.
don't know that those are the starters.
No, I know, but
It's-
it would be interesting.
No, they said that.
Oh, did they?
They said that
So-
you will get to choose one of your partner
You'll
Pokemon
have
from
Oshawott.
these who were brought from other regions
Yeah.
because the professor has travelled to other
Yeah.
regions.
So you've got Oshawott, which sucks ass, and I'm not going to choose.
Oshawott's
And then-
cute.
Samurott?
Samurot's okay. Samurot's the best starter.
Ah.
But this is what I mean. Grass usually gets thrown to the wayside for fucking everything.
But it's a ghost type.
But that's what I mean. Rowlet is a really good grass type when paired against a Cyndaquil and a fucking Oshawott.
The thing that someone realized, I don't know, because I don't know the other two Pokemon very well, is that the starters, they evolve into samurai-like.
Yeah, your
evolution.
archer, your samurai, and your warrior.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's
I
why
didn't think
those
about
Pokemon. Yeah, someone connected the dots this morning on
Yeah.
Twitter. I'm just like, interesting. Like those keep with that like.
This isn't Pokemon Breath of the Wild. This is Pokemon Ghost of Tsushima.
Like it's specifically the Meiji restoration period. Like that's
Yes.
what it's inspired by. I don't know what that means, but yeah, samurai. So we're getting
Pokemon Samurai.
we get Pokemon. What's his name? Lord Shimura. We're just gonna be sad the whole game. You're not fighting the way I taught you to.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Ah.